Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We are here with StarSeries and we are here with day number 11. It looks like we might have to have a remake, as I'm not sure if this game is actually up in Dota TV. But we'll find out soon enough. Don't worry about that one. And if it is indeed not on Dota TV, then we will be having a quick remake after the draft, I would imagine. But for now we have Fnatic versus Menace, and we're gonna see one game between these two teams. And of course I am joined by Menace for today. Menace, welcome back.
Good to be back.
So, Fnatic, up on the dire side, is there a bug for you that you don't see any of the names and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
There's like a black square where Fnatic's picture should be, and neither of the names are there, yeah. So, Steam is under maintenance, so maybe a little couple issues happening here and there.
It could be,
If it's not going up in Dota TV too, could be a problem.
That could be a problem. But let's hope that is not the case. I mean, I hope that's just a graphic bug and not anything else. We do have a Visage first pickup for Menace. We've got an IO bed banned out. I mean, who is surprised still by those two getting removed? We have also an OD and a Naga Siren removed from the pool. Now, Fnatic has been liking the anti-mage quite a lot lately for Era. And they, of course, have been running No-Till Mid, who has basically been playing a very large variance of heroes. What are you expecting from them today?
I'm hoping they're just playing solid like they kind of were at the beginning of the International this year. They didn't look too good in the game I saw like yesterday, I think. The last couple days, they looked a little sloppy, so hopefully they'll just pick heroes at least that they're I understand that they're trying new things out, and these are probably this is the best time, at least in Starlighter, to really be doing it early on in the season, but I'm hoping they can show a good game.
I fully agree. It looks like we're gonna see Nature's Prophet and Nyx Assassin. Now, normally I would say Trixie Nature's Prophet, but I believe last time we saw Nature's Prophet picked up, it was actually No-Tail in the mid with a Nature's Prophet, which was quite a surprise to me. I'm kind of still hoping that Trixie will play Nature's Prophet though, because he just plays it so enjoyably well. Nyx Assassin picked up. I think we can assume for now that it is support. But two strong heroes picked up, and I like this because even though these two already have great synergy, Vendetta, Nature's Prophet teleporting in while the Impale is of course going on and can kill off any target. But you can't really say anything from these lanes just yet. You can't say trial lane, safe lane. This can basically be anything, especially since we know that they actually have got Nature's Prophet as a solo mid sometimes.
Yeah, that's certainly a thing they can do. I agree with you that I think Trixie is the better Prophet player on Fnatic, but they can certainly try and run it in that mid lane if they want to. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's also not the greatest in terms of just controlling that mid lane, which is why we don't see Nature's Prophet there quite as often. You usually transition less into the semi-carry, split pushy role that we see a lot of Nature's Prophets do, and pick up sometimes stuff like mech and go a supportier route just to be involved in the game a little bit earlier. I don't know if we'll see it here, especially with Nyx picked up, since he could potentially go mid as well. But they are going to have to deal with Lone Druid, and probably going to need to pick up at least a little bit of burst damage of some sort to try and do that. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you didn't have delay.
Yeah, my Twitch, like I've refreshed I refreshed my dashboard a couple of times before I put my stream live, and every time it's at 2 minutes delay. But it looks like it got removed. The hell's up with that? So that means that I'm probably going to have to reset my stream. And that means that there's not going to be a game for 2 minutes, but you won't be missing anything. But I'm going to do that after the draft is done, I think. Because the draft really doesn't really matter that much anyway. I mean, what kind of interesting things can we say for Menace and Fnatic to be thinking, you know, oh, they're right. You know, they are the players, we're not. There's a reason for that. So heads up, people, there will be... There will be a bit of a downtime on the stream while we have the 2-minute delay implemented. Wow, that never happened to me before. Keeper of Light removed from the pool. Support that with Nyx Assassin, of course, can do a lot of damage. Bane, same story. So Menace just banning out 2 supports. They still need a support of their own, or at least that's what we assume they want to have with a Visage. And they normally want to, you normally want to combine up a Visage to make it a nice trial lane that can either withstand an aggressive trial lane very well, or that they can go aggressive with. Now they can also do that on a safe lane with an Enchantress or a Chance, so those are still in the pool. But I would like personally to see Visage tanking. We'll see though, as we have a Clockwork and a Weaver removed by Fnatic.
Tanking, huh? That's what you're thinking? they're gonna go with the Sand King
No,
route. It's
I'm not.
certainly
I'm actually not thinking that, but I'm hoping it.
you're hoping. All right.
Yeah.
It's like Sand King. That's pretty non-traditional. It's certainly something they could run. It does give them some stun, but I don't know if they're gonna necessarily go that particular route. They're thinking about it now, though. I like the Lifestealer pick. It's definitely very powerful against Lone Druid. It's possible that they'll try and run the Lifestealer into the Lone Druid in a solo versus solo matchup. Nyx does particularly well in that matchup just because the bear has so much HP. It lets him survive in lane very easily early on. Still kind of in danger as time goes on and those roots are coming out, but definitely a pretty strong pick. And it's really hard to tell what Fnatic are going to do with their lanes with these heroes. All three of these heroes could sort of solo at this point.
Yeah. In theory, we've seen every single one of them solo mid before. Off lanes, safe lanes, it could also happen. Something very tricky, of course, for Menace to also deal with as they pick up a very safe support as an answer to that. Of course, an important part about a Shadow Demon is that he has got the Demonic Purge, which is really great up against a Lifestealer because it goes through the rage that he has, so you can slow him down. And on top of that, you already have a Lone Druid that can entangle Lifestealer, so they've got some pretty neat setup. Still though, Lone Druid picked up, also one of the heroes that we have seen mid, although that's normally done by Fnatic actually, and normally up against an OD. I lately like Lone Druid more in the safe lane rather than him going on the suicide lane, but we'll see what Menace goes for here. As also they have maybe a bit more traditional lineup in terms of we know what they're gonna do with it. But they still have a lot of options as well. They still could go for a tri lane, still could go for a safe lane, aggressive, whatnot. So very open as well for them.
Yeah, both teams really haven't given away too much with their drafts. Fnatic, you see a lot of their core heroes with the Nature's Prophet and Lifestealer picked up, but you don't know how they're going to be laned. And with Fnatic, it's really hard to tell since they've run Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet both mid and both recently. So there's a lot that could be going on in this particular draft with the Leshrac pick. You pretty much know he's going to be a support. It's almost always the case, but even then, he could end up something in like a solo role. It's unlikely, especially with the rest of the draft thus far. But
I'm always hoping that it will happen, but it hasn't happened in a while. But Lifestealer, Leshrac, Nyx Assassin, very scary tri lane there. Already Lifestealer and Leshrac. The open wounds in theory can set up for the Split Earth. Now, of course, because of the nerf to Lifestealer, having his range reduced from the open wounds, it's not that strong anymore, but that's why you have a Nyx Assassin. Because an Impale can set up for both of those, and I think that Fnatic is going to have potential to go aggressive with this one if they want to.
Yeah, I think it's pretty likely even that Fnatic will end up running this tri lane aggressively. There's not a ton of point to try and run it into like an off-lane Lone Druid, who's just going to probably try and mess with the pulls a little bit and maybe even abandon to the jungle, because this is a very powerful tri lane. They could take towers down, I guess, with that pretty quickly, just utilizing the edict from Leshrac, but it's not really the full potential when you have such a powerful tri lane. You're probably going to want to run it into whatever the opponent is throwing out. So.
Like you just with your push, you just maybe get an idea. What about Fnatic picking up a Troll? We have still got Troll and Timbersaw in the pool, by the way. Both of those we have seen picked up by both teams before. And it's still definitely a possibility for both. I'm saying Timbersaw now because it's like also one of the newer ones. But Troll definitely, with the push potential of the Nature's Prophet and Leshrac added to that, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, Troll is pretty powerful as a pusher, but with the Razor pickup now on the other side, I'm not certain I would want to pick Troll into that. Troll's great at attacking very quickly, but when you don't do any damage, it becomes a little silly very, very fast. But maybe they're still not necessarily thinking about it. They're going to go that route anyways. I'm interested to see, but they're going to have to do it quick. Because they have 3 seconds of reserve time after this ban phase.
Yeah, both teams using up almost all of their bonus time. Even Menace, only 15 seconds left for them. So, pretty, maybe intense draft if you want to call it that. Puck remove from Fnatic. And Fnatic, of course, have got the first pick after this one. And assuming that Razor is going to be on the safe lane, which is still a possibility, he can also still be going mid. It really depends, I think, on what Fnatic picks up last. We're actually going to see Mirana ban here.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
But it is up to Menace to have the last pick, and I think that's definitely in this case, where everything is still so open, is a big advantage.
Yeah, having last pick is often very powerful because we can sneak something in without really providing the other team with the chance to counterpick, especially if you have something sort of off the wall planned for your last pick. It's usually unlikely that the enemy team is going to ban
10
that
seconds
particular
remaining.
hero out. So we'll see exactly what it is both teams are thinking.
5
Not a lot of
seconds
reserve
remaining.
time left for either one. They're going to have to go quickly here. I don't know what Fnatic are going to want to do.
Well, like you
I kind of
said.
expect to see a solo.
Oh,
Yeah.
2 seconds left, but they pick up a bounty hunter, so
Radiant's
it's
team pick.
yeah. They do pick up a solo mid, not the Timbersaw, but it is or solo mid. What am I saying? Solo offlane. So this will be probably no till again on his Nature's Prophet. Which, by the way, I mean, we saw it, I think, maybe Saturday, Sunday or something like that. No teal on this Nature's Prophet. We know that he is liking those heavy micro heroes. We have to keep an eye on those Treants because last Sunday I don't recall which team they were up against, but it was quite insane. So I really like seeing him play that one. As one more pick left for Menace, who is also gonna take into their bonus time for this one.
Reserve
They now know that they'll be up against a Nature's Prophet mid, well, or assume, I think.
10 seconds
Nature's Prophet versus Razor is not bad for Nature's Prophet, but oh, hey, you know what? I was thinking about the Slark because there's actually the stand-in has the Avatar Slark, but I was actually not expecting him here, but still. Slark pickup.
Yeah, Slark pickup. Not a hero we see a ton of anymore. He's kind of faded out of competitive play a little bit. He was really big for a short period of time when he was new on the scene and teams weren't sure how to play around him. And then everyone kind of figured it out, and then he became real bad real fast. So hopefully Menace here are able to utilize him pretty effectively and just kind of move around, put pressure on the map wherever he's at, and he doesn't end up just being a huge liability to their team.
I think this is my moment because, sorry people, I have unfortunately forgot to implement delay on my stream, and there should of course be delay because I do not want the teams to be able to, even if they wouldn't do that, it just, removing the possibility is always needed. So I don't want the teams to be aware of what the opponents are doing. So the stream is going to be reset. Now, in theory, you won't miss any second of it because, of course, I will turn the stream off and on straight away. But you will be without stream for 2 minutes because that's the delay that we're going to implement here. So stick around. We have got a pause. So see you in 2 minutes and we'll be right back. Apologies for the inconvenience. How do I find out if it works? It's so weird. I refreshed a couple of times and you have the delay bar sitting. It's set in 2 minutes the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that experience.
I'm gonna
Since I can't use Twitch for delay.
True. I'm gonna
I
just
use,
blame it
I
on
use Xbox.
Twitch now. That's my solution.
Something goes wrong with streaming, Twitch's fault, always.
Well, unless
Blame
I
Twitch.
have frame drops. I mean, if the internet issue is on my end, I have no problems admitting that one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, the ingest servers are not that strong. I actually switched today to UK because Germany is kind of messed up a bit. And it looks like I'm sending frames again and there's no stream live, so this is good. So this means the delay is this time implemented and that you will actually hear this in 2 minutes time. Awesome, welcome back then. Of course, you are watching StarSeries, Star Ladder. This is day 11, game number 1 of the 5 games to come. Some great games coming up, and of course Fnatic versus Menace, the one that we are kicking off with. And let's just see who is playing what. We have got Fly, he'll play Leshrek as a support Leshrek. They'll be going on the try safe lane, Hanny supporting on the next assassin, as he's been taken on that 4-role support era, taken on the Lifestealer, so that will be our trial lane for Fnatic. On the bottom lane it will be Trixie, will be playing as Bounty Hunter, and that means indeed, as expected, no tail. Taking on Trixie's Nature's Prophet, and I do have a habit that if Fnatic is playing a Nature's Prophet, to call it Trixie. So if that happens, apologies in advance, but it is no tail Nature's Prophet, and he did make a very impressive showing with it last Sunday. And I'll leave Menace to you.
Yeah, for Menace, we're going to have them on the Radiant side. Spin down in that safe lane on the Lone Druid. He's solo at the moment. We're going to have Syphila playing the Visage. He's currently checking runes, going to kill it. Mid lane is going to be Boogie on the Razor, and currently accompanied by Lepiz on the Shadow Demon. Finally, off lane is Norty on the Slark.
And Norty was actually the one that had the Slark avatar, so I'm hoping that he is also able to just play it properly. As in, doing his avatar justice and just showing it. There you go. Looks exactly the same. He is going to be supported by the looks of it. We have got Lapis already on his way, and also Sifla is making his way top. He's going to be slightly delayed, of course, because he checked that rune. But he will be on the top lane. I'm not sure how much they can actually do. Maybe they can at least create an okay farming environment for the Slark, but you have a disruption. It doesn't really match all that well with a Visage, the Shadow Demon, or at least not at level 1. Maybe with a Soul Assumption, of course, on a Soul Catcher. That is a possibility that will definitely hurt. But other than that, if you compare it to a Shrek with Nyx Assassin, I actually would favor Fnatic's tri lane.
Yeah, I think Fnatic probably have the advantage here in this tri lane. Slark doesn't do a ton in the tri lane early on. He really wants levels. If you want to talk about an experienced-starved hero, it's really, really Slark. He needs to get that level 6 just to really be survivable in any way. And of course, his spells don't really do a ton. Dark Pact is mostly for the debuffing potential.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts himself, which is obviously not ideal in a tri lane as well. So we'll see exactly what they do with this. I'm surprised. I guess if they're going to run the Slark this way, not in the mid lane, I'm not really sure why they picked up Slark then. I feel like they have better options if they were just looking for a hero to end up putting against the tri lane.
And perhaps that has something to do with, like Nuerchi has been standing in for Menace for a bit already after Jarex has stood in for them before. But the thing with the stand-in is that you normally want him to play a hero that he's comfortable with, and maybe he's just very comfortable with Slark. Maybe that's the reason why they went for the Slark. And, I mean, I guess they don't really need to win the tri lane that much. I mean, in terms of, if they can already slow down Era's farm, that's already won enough, depending on if Lone Druid gets free farm, which in theory he should be getting. And I guess they're already going to be successful if they can indeed slow down Era, which so far so good, because he's only got 2 last hits from that first creep wave.
Yeah, and that was with the supports not really in the lane, so now if they're able to sort of be around, it's going to be a little bit easier for him to farm on that Nyx, and of course it gets easier as Nyx starts getting levels as well. He grabbed Feast at level 1 just to get a little bit of regen, but once he gets the points in Rage and Summon Open Wounds as well, he's not going to be feeling particularly threatened by anything this tri lane is doing for Menace.
I don't know, actually they might try to go for this. The Pounce will be there, will they try? No, it's just some harassment. But already an Orb of Venom picked up by the Slark as well, so early Skadi, who knows if he gets his way. In the meantime, No-Tail is up against Razor. Not a very easy lane up for Nature's Prophet, but definitely a lane he might be able to win, depending on how well he can micro his... or how well he can harass with the strand. But Boogie will have 5 for 2 last hits, and No-Tail sitting on a 3 for 4. As on the top lane, they're still fighting over a creep wave. And they might actually go for this. Edict? No, not turned on just yet. The Splitter Earth's still there. There's the Edict as well. In comes a Pounce, perhaps. Yura getting forced away with a Soul Assumption. Nuerji still taking a lot of damage from that Edict. In comes an Impale as well. And they just Prophet TPing in. That should be the first blood. No, Pounce! Deny! Neutrals! Centaur, MVP. Maybe Sifla will still drop though. No-Tail definitely wants a piece of that. He gets it. And the first blood goes to the Nature's Prophet. And that's how easy it can turn around.
Yeah, that was really back and forth. A lot of damage went on Era there, and it looked like he might be in trouble, but he just is able to walk away, back off a little bit. It's not a very difficult disengage from this tri lane, especially early on. The Shadow Demon into Visage, they don't have a stun, so Era can just kind of walk away from most things they can throw out, even post-disruption. So he's just able to back off. They get the port in from Nature's Prophet. They end up getting 1 kill technically, but 2 deaths to the Menace tri lane with Slark dying to neutrals. And they give up the first blood anyways. It's not looking particularly good for Menace now.
Not at all. And of course, I mean, Nuerti was able to deny himself, but in the end he still died. He still had some off time of the lane. And we're gonna see if they can catch up. We know that Slark doesn't need that much to be able to be dominant in a game. But he can't be shut down too much either, and that's something that I fear for them right now. As No-Tail, after coming back to the mid lane, he actually looks quite sad in terms of HP and mana. Now let's see what the courier is gonna bring him, because he doesn't have a bottle or anything. I mean, normally Nature's Prophets don't really get bottles, but you kind of want to have something. Wow. He has got a TP scroll and a teleport, so he can just teleport to base and teleport scroll back if he wants to. As we have got Boogie sitting on 14-5, so with the off time that No-Tail had from the lane, he definitely got ahead in last hits. However, he's up against the person that did manage to get the first blood money.
Yeah, he's up against no Nature's Prophet. Also, just in general, doesn't matter necessarily that much. When you're in this mid lane Nature's Prophet, you really want to be moving around trying to enable kills elsewhere on the map. So maybe that's sort of the plan with sending the Razor mid, since he is sort of one of their carries in this particular game. He's going to get a lot of free time in lane typically. He's not going to have a very difficult matchup since there's not a lot of chance of Nature's Prophet ever getting a kill on him. So yeah, we'll see if he's able to really build a huge advantage there. Being ahead like a little bit in last hits is fine, but realistically, Bounty Hunter is doing very well in the bottom lane, and that's kind of strange.
It is indeed. Lone Druid is doing well though, or at least decent. I say decent, and then I see that Trixie's actually last hit ahead, but he is level 4, and I'm expecting him to, when he reaches level 5, he's gonna be able to zone Trixie out completely. And this is Menace's secret weapon. They need this Lone Druid to do really well, because it's not going to come from the Slark at the moment. Razor might be able to make something happen, but he needs a bit more to be able to actually dominate. And I think the faster Lone Druid gets his items up, the better. Because
yeah, definitely. Lone Druid's kind of their big carry in this game. He's safe lane farm, just sitting there and trying to get as much gold as possible. Probably see a Radiance rush from it. It's sort of become the norm on Lone Druid.
Yeah.
Ever since the nerfs to Armlet on him, but yeah, I think it'll be a lot better for him once he gets level 5. He'll be able to really threaten Trixie, whereas now it's just kind of a little bit of harass and Trixie continues farming.
Yeah, just wait until that entangle is there. Look at that harassment on the bear, by the way. If he's able to get a kill on the bear at 300 gold, that's a big deal. One last hit that gives more than 5 last hits together. In the meantime, we might have a go here. The pounce up on Era. He rages, tries to get himself away from this. One more hit needed though, and he does end up going down. In the meantime, the Shadow Demon will still drop as well. That was Hani and Fly making that happen. Fly with the last hit. Now Hani getting slowed. He has not got enough mana for an Impale, but he does still have his Spike Carapace. He wants to try and use it on the Soul Assumption. It's too late for that one, and one more hit to go, and there he goes. Down he goes. In comes Boogie, looking for Fly. Can he actually get him? There's boots up on Boogie. Of course, no boots up on Fly. And look at the damage. A double damage rune, and it is another kill. That means that a trial lane of Fnatic has now been completely wiped.
Yeah, that's real good for Menace when you're able to just completely destroy their tri lane. Boogie this time the one from the mid lane making the rotation top. No-Tail's going bottom. Looks like they're going on spin.
Yeah, the track is already there. This is going to be a track kill. There we go. Trixie with the last hit as well. In comes Boogie though, but it's a bit too late. And he gets blocked a bit by the Treants as he can't continue his way to try and get a kill here anymore. Gets a track. Has to be careful actually. In comes his Proud as well. They might be able to make something happen now. He eats himself a tree and gets himself out. And comes back towards the mid lane. Still scary.
Yeah, so
stuff.
Boogie wastes some time there, just kind of going bottom for no real reason. And in the meantime, he's not farming, and Nature's Prophet was able to set up the kill on Lone Druid. So it's a pretty good rotation from Fnatic and a lot of wasted time from Menace.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, in a way, it's also pretty decent that Menace actually at least got themselves kills on the tri lane. I mean, it's no longer a complete failure. They slowed down Era a bit. On the other side, Fnatic did slow down. And comes, oh, nice Dark Pact. Very nice timing on that. But a bit too early with the Impale, I guess. But they do slow down the farm of the Lone Druid and the farm of Boogie, of course, at the same time on his Razor. So they're sacrificing some stuff for having their tri lane maybe do a bit better. So far, though, the kills are even. I mean, we see 3 to 4, but one of the kills of Fnatic is actually, of course, a deny for Murti. And they actually have a TP. Visage going bottom, helping out Lone Druid. Lone Druid needs that head start, and they know that. They need to have him do well. And he doesn't have a bear anymore, which is a big deal. So Sifla is going to keep him safe.
Yeah, they got that kill after the resummon on the bear, so he doesn't have it for a little bit of time. It's only about 10 seconds at this point. But Spin does have to be careful during this time. I think Sifla's been spotted out by that track onto Spin.
Yeah.
I think Visage was spotted. So Trixie knows what's up. He's not going to like overextend into a Visage suddenly, but he can do a lot of damage to Spin, yeah.
Yeah. There
I
wasn't
was
even...
trying to like say, yeah.
Nature's Prophet didn't even need to be there. No-Tail just, with his ultimate, getting a kill. And comes Boogie though, but there is an invisibility run up on No-Tail, so that means he gets himself out unharmed. But that's pretty scary. I mean, Spin going down there it's a big deal. You already said it. It's their big carry. They can't afford him to go down. they've tried to get a tri-lane to at least slow down Era's farm, so that Lone Druid can get free farm. Well, no such luck so far. Norty does have himself a poor man's shield, has got enough money for treads as well, and might with that be able to make things happen, as we know that he, with those items, can definitely be a menace. Oh my god, I just made that pun. This is really
Yes,
bad.
you did.
There's a
Yeah,
tread.
so if both teams have their carries sort of getting shut down, that really favors Fnatic, because Nakes can get aggressive a lot more easily than the Lone Druid can. And with this kind of lineup and the track goal and the like that's going to be coming out for Fnatic, it's going to just be able to build up a huge advantage on Nakes, even if he doesn't really have a lot of items going into that mid game. So I think it's a good strategy that Fnatic are doing right now. If they're only really focusing on ganking that Lone Druid right now, they know Slark isn't really getting a ton up in this top lane, even if the kills are sort of even up there now, because he's not really farming even while Era is.
Yeah, I would really like to see from Menace some more aggressive warding. They have got, of course, 2 wards up, one on their side of the map on the mid lane and one on the high ground on their side of the map as well. But I would really like to see some aggressive warding, perhaps even behind the tier 1 tower on the top lane, because Slark is really one of those heroes that right now, with only poor man's shield and treads, he can kill off supports very easily. And I would really like him to be able to know where the supports are, and if they're by themselves, he can go there and kill them off. In the meantime, Hani has made his way towards the bottom lane. Look at his positioning. Oh, he's being spotted though. He's being spotted. Tries to eat a clever tree. Gets himself revealed.
Yeah, if they know he's there, he's not really going to be able to set up any kills now. Spin is being very careful. He's sitting around in his ultimate form now, so he's a lot tankier. Not really going to get surprised by Trixie with the kill, but they're going in.
Yeah, Impale there, the track already there. Shuriken Toss doesn't look like they need that much. They get themselves a kill. No-Tail TPing in as well. He's taking a lot of damage, but there's nothing that can stop him from TPing out. In comes Boogie. In the meantime, something happened that we expected to happen. Or at least that we were knowing that could happen. Slark got himself a double kill. Lifestealer on the Shrek. The fight happened at the same time as the fight bottom. He got himself a double kill on the Lifestealer on the Shrek. Of course, Lapis was there to help him out, but this is going to be a Slark that is indeed pretty scary right now.
Yeah, if they keep letting Slark get these kills and just kind of leave him alone in the top lane, especially with just the support hanging around, they're going to give kills to Slark and he can snowball very quickly. And Fly needs to be somewhat careful.
Sifla is going to go down here though. The Sprout's there. No-Tail coming in to try and help out. Couple hits needed there. Still Soul Sumption. Sifla throws it out. No-Tail actually goes down. Still a Janata saved for the Visage, but Trixie gets himself that kill solo. And also the experienced solo as Nature's Prophet is out of the picture before that kill happens. Pretty neat pickup as Boogie gets himself phase boots and gets himself finally a rune. Because the rune control of No-Tail was pretty impeccable up until then. And Trixie looked to maybe try and go for the courier, but courier too fast.
Too fast. It's hard to find too. When you're a melee hero, you can't really just like hit it from a range. You have to actually find it and get really close to it, and that often doesn't work. Trixie went for it.
Yeah,
If he gets it,
Catcher
it's
there.
great.
Oh, one more hit needed. Nope, can't get it. In comes the Sprout. Boogie eats himself out. Keeps getting those tangos in his inventory. Very needed with Nature's Prophet that is moving around as much as No-Tail is in this one.
Yeah, a lot of rotation coming out from both teams. Unfortunate for Menace that they weren't able to secure that kill in the mid lane, but Fly will have to walk all the way back to base, and while that's going on, he can't really rotate and try and push or gank with this Shrek.
Yeah, by the way, on top of Lassus and the Knives, it's actually Razor that's sitting there. Like, maybe you would expect Lone Druid, but he got shut down. And it's actually Razor, solo mid Razor, that gets himself on top of that list. Era is still second highest though. I mean, the difference is not that big even. But it's a pretty important thing to note. Of course, net worth is going to be in favor of the Bounty Hunter, and that's what Trek does for you. Trek kills, give you that money, and he's got 3 kills already to his name, and he's looking for another one. No-Tail maybe teleporting in to try and help out? Nope. They're not going to try and go for it right now. They're going to try to go for the Solark, but he uses his ulti, and he runs, shadow dancing himself away.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to kill Slark at most stages of the game, especially once he hits level 6. He's got Pounce, he has Shadow Dance, you can kind of just walk away from almost anything, and of course Dark Pact to remove stuns.
Oh,
Definitely not the
Boogie.
easiest gank. Connie's, yeah.
Yeah, He's still quite a bit of damage, at 140 Era. You can't stand next to that one. Mana Burn still there. Spike Carapace also already used. One more hit. That's gonna be a kill. Should not come back into an Eye of the Storm. The Razor in the meantime, Slark picks up the Nature's Prophet. Fnatic dropping heroes left and right.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And the tower in the bottom lane, Spin is able to push it down while all of those heroes from Fnatic are up in the top lane. That was a really weird series of events from Fnatic. I'm not sure why those two went in on Razor after he stole that much damage off of the Nyx. You have to know that you're not going to be able to get that kill without dying very, very quickly.
Yeah, it was kind of, well, questionable decision making for sure. We have got No-Tail making Orchid, by the way. It's very aggressive Orchid. I mean, you want to teleport over the map and then get yourself the kills. I think it's mostly strong up against the Slark right now. If you can catch him before he can Dark Pact or Pounce or something like that, then that's of course very strong. But it's very, very situational. I'm not quite sure if they are able to get the full usage out of that in a game like this, where they're already right now being forced to fight so much and actually not winning all the engagement. Of course, they're still trading kills, and which is actually, if there's a Bounty Hunter involved, favorable for the Bounty Hunter because of his track. But it's definitely not something that is all in favor of Fnatic at the moment, because this Slark is starting to be fairly scary. I mean, he's got 2400 gold, and he's actually gonna go for, maybe try and go for this. Nope, pounces himself away as No-Tail TP's in. He's by himself completely on the top lane at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's just the Slark up there, but he's not really in threat of dying anytime soon. In the meantime, Visage dies.
Yeah,
to
track
Life Stealer.
Trixie
So
hanging
that's a
out
good
there
thing,
as well.
another track kill.
Yep.
But it's definitely looking a lot tougher for Fnatic right now. They haven't made a ton happen. Lifestealer hasn't really gotten the big farm they probably wanted. Doesn't even look like he's approaching an Armlet at this point, going for drums before and after the face boots.
Boogie coming in from behind here, wants to go for No-Tail. The Static Link already gone though, but he locks himself in to get it with Fly. In comes the Splitter Earth, the Pounce misses. Boogie has to get himself out of there, has to be careful there. Lifestealer comes in as well. This is going to be Menace, forced to back out. Nurti, he does not have a Pounce. He is completely stuck. Shadow Demon still gets picked up by the Bounty Hunter on another side of the map. But we're gonna watch. Oh, Era taking a lot of damage from Sifla. Sifla being eaten up though, has to be careful. Nice Proud actually helping out Sifla slightly as well, as Lifestealer is about to go down. Boogie coming back into this fight. Trixie here now as well. Rotated, but there is a sentry already. Still gets the Visage, gets a double kill across the map, but Trixie will go down for a double kill for Boogie. Track kills versus track kills, of course, still a thing in favor of Fnatic, but fighting all the time right now. No-Tail Pounce, that's gonna be another kill added to the board, and that's gonna be 3 dead for 2. Well, I say for 2, as Nyx Assassin was able to Vendetta up on Boogie, able to get himself a kill. Fly now running away from the Familiars, and I actually think that he might die here. A couple of hits needed. Maybe some stuns helping out.
Tower is under attack.
And I'm not sure if they can catch him, actually. Pause comes out.
Yeah, they're starting to lose damage on those Familiars. It'll take like 4 more hits. I think they might be able to get it just because Fly is pretty slow. But they're gonna chase pretty far. I think they'll eventually get him though.
Yeah, but they don't really have the extra damage anymore. Well, they still have 3 and 4 stacks. It's not actually that bad.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a ton of physical armor. So they'll probably be able to get it. There's not a lot of reason for them to stop chasing too, until he gets to the tower.
Dire's
Oh, with the
bottom
wand
tower
charge he'll be
is
fine.
under attack.
It's just like 2 wand charges is enough when you're taking like 20 damage.
Yeah.
Dire's top
Well, that
tower
was
is
a
under
pretty
attack.
long fight. Of course, 2 track kills. Shadow Demon died on the other side of the map, by the way, so he wasn't actually in the fight in the top lane, I believe. But Trixie, of course, getting a double kill out of that one. He actually sells his Pormer Shield. He's gonna go for BKB. He picked himself up an Ogre Club. I still think Menace, I mean, okay, they're trading kills with the Bounty Hunter, and that's definitely not something that you want to be doing. But they're still getting those heroes that they need to get items up. I mean, they're still not in full strength. They're still building up their momentum. And right now, they're actually shutting down Era and getting bigger on the Lone Druid. I mean, that fight in the top lane, Lone Druid, he wasn't even involved in that fight, was he?
No, I don't.
But everybody of
seen
Fnatic
that.
was involved in the fight in the top lane, so it's scary. Bounty Hunter's still on top of net worth, but we still have Slark highest, second highest, even very close to the Bounty Hunter, who now also picked up a Shadow Blade. Boogie is 3rd highest, and also on Menace is Lone Druid, who is 4th on the list, and they're actually pouncing up on Trixie. They get him as well. The dust's already there, and that's gonna be a nice pick off. The Splitter's not hitting anymore. Trixie finally brought down. think that was the first time? Second time this game. Oh yeah, of course he died in the top lane just now as well. Ooh, Boogie actually TPing top. They want to try and take down No-Tail. The familiar stop him from TPing out. He still, of course, has got his natural teleportation. He sprouts himself up, but it's too late. In comes Sifla with a soul assumption and picks him up. It is just aggression all over the place, and the movement from both teams coming in everywhere to try and help kill off everybody.
Yep, and a 3-kill lead now for Menace, of course, with the one deny that's being countered towards Fanatics. They're starting to get a lot of kills all over the map. They're getting these pickoffs, and Fnatic really can't afford to continue doing that. Lumdruid is just sitting down this bottom lane, farming away. He's almost got his Radiance at this point. He's actually got the gold. Or no, he's not going for Radiance. He's going to pick up something else. Maybe Maelstrom?
Ooh, wow. That's a demon. Shadow Demon dead. Wait a second. Sifla now getting a rest on. Has still got a soul surge. Thrown out to Hani. Sprout misses, but does force him back into the hands of Hani, who will be able to pick up the kill. Actually, No-Tail's last hit comes flying in. In comes the Slark, though. They do have a sentry placed, so Slark has to be careful. They're actually going to try to prioritize No-Tail. 1 pound is all that it needs. Half HP already gone. That's going to be a kill. Unstoppable Slark right now. 1 for 2. But 1 solo mid Nature's Prophet for 2 supports. I actually wouldn't favor wouldn't favor specifically Fnatic for that one. I might even favor Menace.
Yeah, I think I would favor Menace for that. Nature's Prophet continues dying, and he just keeps getting picked off, and maybe that's what they were thinking of with the Slark, is that he's very good at picking off Nature's Prophet. You can't even really rely on the Sprout to just sort of enclose yourself and then teleport out, because Pounce is so good at just kind of leaping in there and getting the Slark in close range to do that burst damage. He's also naturally just a very frail hero, so Slark is killing him basically with just his nukes, and then a couple of right clicks is enough to finish him off. Mid lane though,
yeah, flying getting forced away already. There was a war for sentry wards, and actually Fnatic won that. We do still have sentry wards in the inventory of Lapiz, so they're still there. Well, 1 familiar living through this. And indeed, the Maelstrom being built up by Lone Druid on his bear. They're still going to go for this, picking up the sentry ward now finally, making sure that Trixie is not going to be able to walk around there unseen. And by the way, sorry for sometimes sounds, I don't know if you can hear them, but it's kind of grim weather outside, and I don't know, it's pounding against my windows, and that makes sounds.
Oh, I haven't heard anything.
Okay, good. I saw someone saying something about a thunderstorm in the chat, and I think maybe you hear it, but oh well.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not noticing, because it's like
that's good enough
in the background or something. This is kind of still just a pretty strange game. There's a lot of aggression coming out from Menace and from Fnatic, but Menace are getting the advantage of it. Lone Druid is still just sitting down. He went for Maelstrom. I think that's...
Ooh, Trixie! He managed to get himself out. Did you see that?
No,
very
I wasn't
low on
watching.
life. It down goes Leshrac still, though. That's going to be Razor with the kill, but he's still trying to get himself away. Aaron, oh, nice disruption. Lapiz helping out there. Soul Assumption in the meantime. It's already No-Tail dropping. Double kill for Sifla's Visage. It is Razor that gets brought down, and Sifla finally as well, or will he? Stick charges, keeping him alive for a little while longer. Throws out 1 more Soul Assumption before he dies. Nyx Assassin still ends up going down though. Noerti coming in, he's still charging up a Dark Pact, meaning the track will go off again. Runs for his life. In the end, it's a trade favorable for Menace once again in terms of numbers. But this time, I mean, the track kills going the way of Fnatic. I might actually favor that for Fnatic. I mean, the track kills, it's so important.
Yeah, getting these track kills is very good. Trixie's gonna have to back off here. He's chasing down Norty, but he's still going for that. That's really surprising.
He is so annoying.
He's not gonna be able to get this kill.
Oh, he pounds Trixie. Can he actually get this? He might be able to. No, he won't be able to. The bear, he can't go invisible though, and he pops the regen rune because of course he has that. And still Slark sending invisible. Of course, having a double heart passive helps out a lot.
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot when you want to regen a lot of health very quickly. Having all of that heart passive, it's pretty good for him. He's able to just back off. He's at full HP. He's still going to go back to base, I think, because he wants mana. It's very important to have mana on this hero, just to be able to move around, use all your spells. You lose all of your mobility without that mana, so heads back to base, but he does survive. Trick waste some time as well, and the net worth is starting to get a little crazy in favor of Menace at this point. No one's at all on top from Fnatic of the net worth. The 3 top farmers are all the cores on the side of Menace. And I think they have the better late game team.
Yeah, we do have Fnatic trying to make a difference though. Roshan is the call. Let's see if they can do it. It's not going surprisingly fast or something, but it is going down slowly but steadily. With an Aegis Prophet, you can do this, of course. And we're gonna probably see no contest for Menace. I don't think they even know what's going on right now, even though we just has Nuerti. He took a trip in the... oh, he finds Fly. That's gonna be Fly dead before anything else, and Pill doesn't work anymore. It doesn't hit. The Shrek sacrifice for Roshan. I think that's a worthy trade still, unless right now we might see Menace still going in. Sentry wards upon sentry wards. Sentry ward from the Dire team already countered. Sprout out for Lapis. Roshan still being tempted by Era. He almost got him. Attack damage being stolen. Boogie also has an inventory slot. He's gonna go for it. Aegis taken by Lifestealer still though, but Era will go down straight away already. That's the Aegis burned. Still 196 attack damage stolen by Boogie, and he's gonna go for the Lifestealer. The slow is there, the soul assumption is there, there's still a rage, but is it gonna be enough? No. Oh, armlet toggling! He just got his armlet already, making the best of it. Runs behind his tier 2, in comes another soul assumption, not enough to take him down. Another armlet toggle, he still keeps himself up. Team, where are you? Nowhere, and that means that, well, no fight back, but also Menace didn't want to dive the tier 3 tower. They will take the tier 2 though. I'm surprised that Boogie didn't actually get the Aegis. I mean, he also wasn't standing next to it, perhaps, but...
Well, Boogie ran in and was actually able to get the kill on Roshan, which
Yeah.
is also pretty important. Gets his team the golden experience.
True.
But, yeah, Lifestealer was just standing right up on top of Roshan, was able to just pick it up. They lose the Aegis immediately, though, so Nyx isn't going to have the benefit of the Aegis at all, and that's just a big advantage for Menace. They get the gold, they experience the lasting effects of Roshan, and the Aegis gets just completely wasted right away. They almost got that kill on Lifestealer as well. Sort of the benefit of this build is that you can just run away very, very easily with the Phase Boots drum build. He even used some drum charges there, I think,
Yeah.
to make sure he was getting out, but it was good armlet tiling from Era. He's able to survive, but they lose a really big fight, and it's looking like a pretty big lead going to be building up here for Menace, and I'm not sure what Fnatic's plan is at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised to have a gemstone up on Nuerti, who has, by the way, picked up an orchid, so definitely extra strong. He gets a track on his face as he pounces himself, or drop packs himself that off. I'm actually kind of worried also for Fnatic. I mean, I've been saying track gold trades, it's not that bad, but it's starting to get to the point where Menace is already 10k gold ahead of Fnatic. The experience graph is also 15k in favor of Fnatic, which basically leads to having a Slark that's level 17, and the highest level in Fnatic is level 13. That's a big difference, and we already saw how fast Shrek died. He is still level 8. He is not going to be getting himself in a better position anytime soon. In comes the Infest, allows himself to walk himself out. Silence already up on Hani though, who's trying to run for it, getting attack damage stolen from Nice Split Earth coming off from Fly. As it slows down Boogie and Nuerti. They're still not done with this though. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter goes down on the other side of the fight. TP out of Sifla, very low HP. And that will be a tier 2 tower down again on the side of Fnatic. Ooh, Boogie, why are you there? Turns on his BKB, tries to run for it. Era forced back. But still, that was Sifla's BKB charge. I believe it was his first one. Yeah, 10-second BKB charge used defensively.
He was mostly just standing back there to try and zone Fnatic's team out while he still had the ultimate flying from him. It's really hard for Nyx to fight him with the Eye of the Storm on him, just because that armor reduction is so brutal against the strength carry of Nyx. But yeah, they end up wasting the BKB charge. They probably didn't need to. It does make sure that they get that tier 2 tower completely for free after that. But yeah, maybe a little questionable wasting the 10-second charge. I'm not sure how important it is at this point. They do get another tower down. There's only one tier 2 remaining up in that top lane. Probably just expecting them to push and keep this pressure on. Their team is really far ahead at this point, and they probably want to just try and secure the game at this point.
Now, of course, there's actually a 3 tower difference on the map. We have Fnatic taking down the tier 1 bottom, while the tier 2 mid was taken down. But 3 tower difference is actually pretty big. Also, of course, in terms of gold. And I'm starting to wonder, like, the pushing potential, I talked about it already, or we talked about it during the draft slightly, of course. There wasn't a troll last pickup, but there's still an Aegis Prophet, there's still a Leshrac that has maxed out his Edict. And surprisingly enough, there's actually still a tier 1 tower standing on the map.
Yeah, they have pretty good pushing potential with those heroes, but when you're behind, it's real difficult to push with a hero like Leshrac. He's not survivable. He doesn't have an escape mechanism. You're not just going to run up the middle lane and
Mhm.
edict a tower down and expect no one's ever going to, say anything about it. So the push potential really got stalled out by them sort of just losing a lot of these engagements in the sort of early mid game. So yeah, it's not too surprising. Now they're ganking in the bottom lane on Spin, but he's just going to TP out.
Yep, been able to live through that. I wouldn't mind seeing a gem up on Menace, by the way. I think they have such a lead that they can afford that, and they can also put it up on the Slark, who has been having some issues with running into a lot of sentries. Look at Fnatic. I mean, right now, this is a time when you're ahead. This is a time to slow down your opponent's farm, to close their map down, to choke them to death, basically, not allowing them to be anywhere on the map and feeling safe about it. And ward control is one of those, of course, tools that you can use then. There is still an observer ward for Fnatic on the Roche pit. Of course, there's no Roshan for now, but they also, of course, still have the sentries. But I think a gem will be beneficial to Menace at the moment. What do you think? Or why do you think they haven't picked it up?
I'm not sure why they haven't bothered just going for a gem. Maybe they're not super concerned about Trixie at this point, or maybe they're just thinking they don't have anyone great to hold it. It's hard to say, because I think it would be a pretty good pickup just for taking control of the map, like you said. But I guess at the same time, they have pretty good control of the map in terms of wards. When you look at all these wards they have everywhere, especially in the dire jungle.
Yeah. Central
So
wards as
maybe
well.
they're just not super. Yeah, they've been dropping a lot of sentry wards. So you could argue that maybe if they had the gem, they wouldn't need those sentry wards, but they're holding pretty good control of the map regardless, especially in the region that they're most likely to be pushing in the near future.
Speak of the devil. Hello, Gem. On the Shadow Demon picked it up. We'll probably send it
There
to
it
the
is.
Slark. So wow, items finished aplenty. We also have got the Assault Grass ready for the Lone Druid. That's a big pickup. At the same time, Era gets himself a Basher, so at least Fnatic also gets something out of the cookie jar here. But Fnatic, because their own jungle is kind of compromised, they have actually got 4 people standing now in the Radiant jungle. With Era actually going for the tower here. Open Woods up on the bear. Gets himself out of the Sprout somehow. How did he get himself out of the Sprout?
He has a Quelling Blade. The Lone Druid, yeah, he has a Quelling Blade. Just for that reason. That's one of the best ways for Spin to get killed, is to get caught in.
Wow, no deal. Just goes down to a solo Slark. In the meantime, on the top lane, we have some problems for Sifla, who got tracked up and killed off. Era now going for Lapis, who's going to try to force staff to low ground. Actually missed and will now go down with an impale coming out from the Nyx Hani. The last hit. With the kill on no-tail though, that's going to be a BKB for the Slark. And I think he has to sell his poor man's shields for that one to carry him that around. But still overall, it's a 2-for-1 trade. I think we've had this trade before, the exact one. 2 supports dying for 1 Nature's Prophet. And I still think that it is still in favor of Menace. I mean, the supports of Menace are not doing that bad. We have a 4-staff even up on a Shadow Demon. Of course, they were track kills, and it does help Fnatic to get back up on their feet. And Era actually got himself some gold from that as well, as that's going to be a solo kill. Slark finding a Leshrac in the jungle. Well, that's going to be a dead Leshrac every single time.
Oh. Yeah, they're just the supports are going down on both sides. With those kills in the top lane were on supports. Leshrac has just kind of been food for Slark this entire game. There's not a lot he can do about it. It's just a terrible, terrible matchup for Leshrac. There's a little bit of skirmishing going here, but it doesn't look like too much is going to come out of it. Unless Hani goes down.
But yeah, they're not turning around for Boogie.
Yeah, so they're able to just get away. It's kind of calmed down a little bit. We're not seeing as much straight out 5v5 fighting in the middle of the river and stuff like we were a few minutes ago, but it's still at an advantage for Menace at the moment, and now they're dewarding there in the dire jungle, making sure that it's safe. It looks like they're finally going to be going for this tier 2 up top, and after that Roshan's going to be spawning about a minute, so I kind of expecting that to be the next location of the fight.
Yeah, oh, careful there. Shadow Blade used, Editor used as well, and the Sentry Ward goes down. No matter how far ahead Slark is, he still can fight 5-on-1. Maybe 4-on-1. Nah, 4-on-1 also is not really favorable. But yeah, the tier 2 tower goes down. Fnatic knows that they cannot defend that, so they just let it go. But they will be forced back towards their base, because in comes a bear. And fortification already used. Fnatic forced to defend their tier 3 tower.
Yeah, they can just put a little bit of pressure here until Roshan respawns, which is very, very soon now. And it's hard for Fnatic to really defend this. They don't have a ton of great defense spells on their team. They have a lot of aggressive spells, like everything the Bounty Hunter can throw out. Obviously, Nyx is very good at going aggressive, but really it's only Fly on the Leshrac who can really defend particularly well here.
The counter push with the lightning very strong, but he also only has level 2 lightning. Boogie taking a lot of harassment here, but in comes the Slark. Down goes the Leshrac already. Slark taking a lot of damage while still being in his BKB. He will get picked off in the end by the Lifestealer. BKB turned on by Boogie as well. In comes the Manta Saldo looking for Era. Era trying to run himself away as a gem drops on the floor. Of course, with nowhere to dead, no tail. You're not going to be able to get himself away. That's going to be Era making his way back to base. In the end, it's still a 1-for-3 fight. I mean, great. They managed to pick up the Slark, but they focused everything on him. And that means that that's going to be a fight won by Menace, who was able to pick up the rest while Norty was chased down. It's going to be Rex.
Under attack. Dire's top barracks has
Yep,
fallen.
just the set of racks completely taken out, and it's great that they were able to get Slark down, but they kind of got really far in to take the Slark down, and we see what happens from that. They just get chased down by these other heroes. The Razor, the Lone Druid, those are both very farmed heroes as well. And the Lone Druid kind of went for a build I maybe wouldn't have necessarily liked, considering how great his farm was early with the Maelstrom fast. It does make this bear attack very quickly, and he's getting those entails off on heroes when he needs them, so these kills are just kind of piling up. And it's looking like this is going to be Menace's game.
So far, yeah, it is indeed going there in that direction. Basically, right now, only Era is actually keeping up in terms of farm with the course of Menace. And I mean, that's one of the strengths that Menace has had this game. Everything they've done, they've basically done together. And we don't really see, like, it's not really a 4+1 strat. Of course, there was a Lone Druid that was still farming for quite a bit on the bottom lane by himself for a while. But he has also, I mean, it's even. All the cores have about the same amount of gold in their net worth. We've got Roshan attempted again here by Menace, by the way. Of course, he's back up again. This is something that Fnatic cannot contest. However, I mean, they're gonna be up against an Aegis now. Can they defend the high ground up against 2 bears, for example, depending on who gets the Aegis, which is still up for grabs? Razor, will they take that one?
I think Razor's the right pick as well. Boogie can do so much damage by just running into the fight and standing around. And if he has that Aegis, it's very easy for him to go that aggressive and not be super worried. Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult. We saw them sort of take a fight where it was even, and Fnatic couldn't hold it all. They just kind of got overrun. A lot of kills given up and then lose their barracks. Now they're losing their tower without even defense coming out.
Yeah, Split Earth on the bear, missed. Look at that attack speed from the bear. Indeed, he now also has a Bastion, by the way. So also very strong up against the Life Stealer. Just all those Split Earths are getting dodged here by Spin's bear. Pretty neat. That's melee ranks picked off without actually fighting for it. In comes Hani with an infested Era. Going for Boogie. He has the Aegis though. Aegis gets burned. Hani might actually die for that. Will die for that. That's gonna be one dead so far. Nature's Prophet TPing and Trixie TPing, and actually Nature's Prophet TPing out rather. He will be able to go out as the ranged Rex are now on their siege. We have Fnatic still not really wanting to fight, especially not for a ranged Rex. They'll fight again up for the bottom lane. But for now, they'll just let Menace do whatever they want to do, and they are rotating towards that bottom lane. I'm gonna try to force something out straight away.
Yeah, and they committed a lot to killing Boogie there. Yeah, they're just gonna call it. They threw everything they had at him. Abyssal Blade got used, the stun from Leshrac, like Shuriken Toss, Impale. Every spell they had, they threw at Boogie. They got him down, but that was the Aegis, so they're just gonna push again in this bottom lane. It's right to call the GG, and Menace, they look pretty good, and fortunately for them, the Slark pick did not backfire. Definitely a high-risk, high-reward hero, and it rewarded them in this game.
Yeah, it wasn't a very smooth start, but the moment he got his threads up, things started turning around for Menace. And lucky for us, we're gonna see Menace again. This time they're gonna be going up against Dota, the team that has qualified to StarSeries and has actually been doing really well. It's one of the teams that you should definitely watch out for in the future. But we're gonna see Menace up against Dota for our next game in StarSeries Star Ladder. It is of course Season 7, day number 11, and this was game 1 of 5. We're gonna jump ourselves to the second game of 5. Stick around for more Dota 2 coming your way in just a moment.